we were sailing towards an ice. Little white peak, and it's getting closer and closer. But really, it's been underneath us the whole time.
There's nothing worse than a kid.
We have some bad news on the case.
Good morning, New Mexico. Welcome to Cafecito con Colón. Got our great mariachis playing Cafecito Colón. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a great Saturday morning. It's a beautiful day in New Mexico. Went outside this morning at about 6 o'clock and it was cool and birds were chirping. It was just a beautiful day. So thank you for joining us. It's going to be just awesome. It's just going to be you and me today. Because we've got a quick cafecito today. I am so glad you're here, and thank you for tuning in this morning. We'll get started and give folks about another minute to get online. It'll be a quick cafecito this morning because I'm heading down to Las Cruces. We've got to deliver 350 care packages with Brian's Angels and Team Chisholm. Aaron Chisholm and I will be heading down to Las Cruces to deliver 350 care packages. Unbelievable. Our biggest delivery to date. Good morning, Don Ernesto. Jonathan Jones, good morning. Good morning, Ted. Good to see you. I like that sunshine. That's very nice. Don Orlando, just talking about Café Colón, brought to you by Orlando Marquez. Versace Mariachi, Mariachi Tierra del Encanto, the land of enchantments mariachi. This message brought to you by Orlando Marquez. Ileana! Hey, you like my little shield back there, huh? Where is it? There it is, right there. Somos unidos. United. Now more than ever. All right, let's get started this morning. As I welcome to Cafecito con Colón. We're so glad you're here this morning. We had a week of phenomenal guests that talked about so many important services that are available in New Mexico, whether it be the coalitions that fight domestic violence or the coalition for those who have been victims of sexual assault, and the programs all over the state. Our sexual assault nurses and our nurse examiners out there that have been doing such great work. And during this time of COVID-19 and the pandemic, we know that stress levels are up. We know that leads to higher incidents of domestic violence and sexual assault. And so it was important to feature those great organizations that are there for support. So if you missed those, go back and check out the Cafecitos con Colón this week. We also had just a phenomenal week of learning about DreamSpring. We're going to talk a little bit more about DreamSpring today because it's incredibly relevant as the Paycheck Protection Program is about to get signed by the president, as it was passed in both chambers this week in our United States Capitol. President will sign that probably on Monday, and those applications need to be in. If you don't know how to get those applications in, if you don't have them started, make sure you reach out to our local banks. And again, local banks are smaller banks, not our national lenders. I want to have you focus on those local banks that can help facilitate, or DreamSpring or the Loan Fund, or those great organizations that serve New Mexicans. So look, let's get started again. Today, I'm headed down to Las Cruces. For those of you that just tuned in, like my angel Fred Silva, good morning, hermano. We are going to just cut it short today. We'll have about a 30-minute window here that I'll visit with you. And then I'm going to hit the road and head down to Las Cruces with Team Chisholm and Brian's Angels as we deliver 350 care packages. And I want to put the link to our GoFundMe, if you don't mind. We're going to do that. Because we are very, very extended with Team Chisholm and Brian's Angels. We've given out, as of today, it'll be about 3,000 care packages plus. Our tracking early on wasn't as precise as I would have liked it to have been. But since we're tracking, we know that we're hitting at least 3,000, but it could be a little bit more than that. Good morning, Kevin Herrig. We posted up Barcelona yesterday. For those of you that missed yesterday's Cafecito, Kevin Herrig, along with the Rolling Stones, both released a great single this week. Kevin Herrig's is, I like it a little bit more than the Rolling Stones, but he released Barcelona this week. So if you missed that, check out the Cafecito links from yesterday. Good morning, Eloisa Tabet, my former boss and mentor down there at the First National Bank of Berlin, which is, of course, I think Wells Fargo now, but she was a great mentor and a light in my life in my youth. But we've invested in Team Chisholm and Brian's Angels. We've spent about $30,000 to $35,000 to bring care packages of love filled with hope and restoring people's faith in humanity every day with those boxes of food and necessities. And we've done it for over 3,000 homes and households. And we are so proud of that. But that $30,000 or $35,000 is Aaron and Lely and me and just a couple people putting up the funds to do that. We've now put up a GoFundMe to help offset about $10,000 of that cost. Folks have put into Venmo and Cash App, and I appreciate all of that. We've raised about $15,000 of that 30, so we still need a little help. So if you can, great. If not, we know that we're going on a faith and a prayer here to just get out there and try and meet the need. And we know that we've been provided for. We have a wonderful roof over our head. We have food on our table. In fact, I still have plenty in reserve. So I've got more than I need, and we're hoping to have you join us in this impactful work. Thank you for those notes. Appreciate it very much. Jonathan and Kristen going down to Las Cruces with us. A couple of our great angels, also the sponsor and designer of my Cafecito con Colon cup, which on the back, he put my life's motto here, which it says, your success in life will always be directly proportional to the success you help others achieve. And as Brian's Angels and Team Chisholm gets out there, we know that we are spreading hope, love, and restoring people's faith in humanity so that they can enjoy success in the future. And I know our success is really going to be directly proportional to the success of our community as we fall forward after the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm so proud of our governor and the great work and the national attention she's getting for the work that she did with New Mexico and flattening the curve. We know we're on the other side and we are flattening the curve. We've still got work to do to make sure that we don't have incredible amounts of community spread, but it looks like the resources that we have in New Mexico are going to be able to serve those people who find themselves in a situation where they have to be hospitalized. And that was always the goal. When I posted it on my Facebook 6 weeks ago and said, we've got to flatten the curve, this is what we were hoping to do. And thank you, New Mexico, for observing social distancing, washing your hands, making sure that we are doing the best practices we can in New Mexico under the governor's leadership and Lieutenant Governor Howie Morales' leadership. And I'm so grateful to New Mexicans for worrying about community before self. So let's get some great good news going on this morning. Tom Hanks had this great letter and gift that he sent over to a young man whose name was Corona. And he had been bullied, and Tom Hanks wanted to reach out to him, let him know that he's not alone. And we've talked about that, right? We've talked about reaching out to our friends who are in isolation, not by choice, but by mandate. Maybe there are elders like my beautiful adopted mom, Ophelia Munzer, who's tuned in this morning. I know she is. I quarantined her long before the quarantine was necessary by the assisted living center where she was at and by the governor. We locked her down. I took her groceries, and she has been so observant, and I'm so glad because as she's in her, she looks like she's in her 60s or 70s, but don't tell anyone. She's approaching 90 years old, and we're going to have her till she's 100, and I'm so glad and blessed for that. But she's done a great job of making sure that she's been safe, and I'm grateful for that. But she's in isolation, but she knows she's not alone. And I want to encourage you today. It's a Saturday. Today's the perfect day to reach out to those who are in isolation. Let's make sure they know they're not alone. I want to say thanks to the mayor of Rio Rancho and the neighborhood associations that did some laps around some of our assisted living homes there in Rio Rancho. I wasn't able to join that parade yesterday because I was here with you. But I want to say thanks for them doing that. They drove around and honked and let those elders in that assisted living home know that they were isolated, but not alone. We also want to give a shout out to Father Vince from St. Therese Parish. We had a drive-by birthday party for him yesterday. Again, I wasn't able to get over there, but I was with him in spirit. He had another great trip around the sun, and he is just doing great, having really some wonderful moments of leadership at St. Therese Parish and the deep work that they do. So, Kevin, do me a favor. People are talking about your release, Barcelona, and the video. I don't know that I posted the video, Kev, so post the link to the video here. I posted the link to the song on Apple Music or Spotify, but your video came out yesterday with the dogs and all that, and you're just amazing. I love you very much. Good morning, Honorable Charlie Gonzalez. We've got Condado de Taos in the house here at Cafecito con Colon. So there's the Tom Hanks story I wanted to give you. There are so many great things going on and lights in our community, but here's a great story that popped up yesterday in the Albuquerque Journal about so many great faith-based organizations and the New Mexico Hunger Action Fund that was set up by Governor Lujan Grisham. We got the Jewish Care Program from the Federation, the Holocaust Survivor Care Program. So many beautiful programs have stepped up to provide food and security, just like us with Colon's Cafecito con Colon. You've heard me talk about Team Chisholm and Brian's Angels. Maybe you see the cover photo on my Facebook page here. It's really a blessing. I hadn't taken a close look. I thought it was volunteers that had signed that trailer, but in fact it says Team Chisholm and Brian's Angels all over that trailer as we've traveled even as recently as yesterday to Moriarty. I did it again, Mountain Air. We were in Mountain Air yesterday thanks to Mayor Pete Nieto. You've heard of Mayor Pete. He ran for president, right? Pete Buttigieg. But we have our own Mayor Pete in New Mexico, and he is making a difference in Mountain Air every day. And he coordinated with us. Team Chisholm, Brian's Angels, took a trailer out there yesterday, served over 120 families there in Mountain Air, New Mexico. And today we drive down to Las Cruces, 500 miles round trip, all in one day, to deliver 350 care packages. We started out, we were going to do 200. Then we got crushed with requests. Then we went to 250. Then we got crushed with more requests. Then we went to 300, 350, and then we had to cut it off. And we still had about another 100 requests come in after that. So thanks to Mayor Ken Miyagashima for his leadership in Doña Ana County. He's the mayor of Las Cruces. He also made a generous contribution, just like Mayor Pete did. Both Mayor Pete and Mayor Miyagashima are donors to Team Chisholm and Brian's Angels, and we're grateful for that. Thank you so much. But there's a great story in the Albuquerque Journal. Good morning, Willow, Whispering Cloud, Misty Parks. It's great to see you this morning. Let me just tell you the microlender that I talked about, right? We talked about microlending in New Mexico and this need for the Paycheck Protection Program and making sure that you get your applications in now. Get those applications in. To all my entrepreneurs out there, make sure you have your applications in. Here's a nice feature in the Las Cruces Sun News, the home to Brian Colon and Aleli Colon, the city where Rafael was born at Memorial Medical, the place where he was baptized down there, and just an incredible community that supported me for a decade. The first decade of adulthood in my life, that community embraced me and allowed me to not just survive, but to thrive, and I'm grateful. So I'm so grateful we're going down there today. So I keep talking about Dream Spring and Ann and the great folks, Jermaine, over there to help make sure that we in New Mexico get our fair share of the Paycheck Protection Program. So get those loans in there. I posted the link the day we did Dream Springs feature to the actually online application process to help them facilitate your lending there. So make sure you do that. Now, it's no surprise. The Office of the State Auditor, we hold every governmental agency accountable. We embrace accountability, transparency, and when we know that when we do that, we celebrate excellence in government. That said, even though I audit every one of the agencies and I maintain my independence, it's no surprise. I think the governor has done a phenomenal job. She has led with distinction in the nation, and the New York Times says so. So check out that New York Times story after we finish today. In about 20 minutes, we'll finish up. But check out that story in the New York Times. It celebrates how this impoverished state, how this state that has understood what it is to do more with less, has understood what it is to have to fall down and get back up again generation after generation. We fight intergenerational poverty. We also celebrate our multicultural identity. And we have been able to come together as a state under the Lujan Grisham, and Howie Morales leadership. We flatten the curve. The New York Times points out that even though we have so little, we've done so well fighting this pandemic. And so I just want to make sure that you take a minute to check that out. Now, I mentioned the All Together Fund. I actually promoted that on this Cafecito con Colon in the past, but here's where we talk about $600,000 that was raised, and now over $2 million total to support the community effort through our community foundations, the Albuquerque Community Foundation, the Santa Fe Community Foundation, the Coalition of Community Foundations have come together. And I want to say they've done it in a spectacular way. The United Way Central New Mexico Albuquerque Community Foundation joined at the hip to say we can lift up New Mexico, we can lift up ABQ. And they've done that. And I'm so proud of the work that Rodney and Randy have done at the helms of those two organizations, really just doing more than I think anybody could have anticipated by bringing this community together and working together. And as a trustee of the Albuquerque Community Foundation, I advocated for that partnership. I advocated for that collaboration. And now I'm a former trustee, but I'm so proud of the work being done by the United Way Central New Mexico and the Albuquerque Community Foundation, led by two friends and two people I admire, Randy Royster and Rodney Prudney, and I want to just say thank you to them. So there's a quick press release about the Community All Together Fund, and then I think, did I post that link? If you want to make a donation, I did. So you can do that there. Some cool stuff going on in Albuquerque. Mayor Keller, you're doing a great job leading. I'm so proud to know you and proud to be your friend and proud to lead with you as an elected official and civil servant. But he has got a great idea. We're going to do a Kids Town Hall on April 30th at 1:30. Kids can submit their questions starting now, the next 5 days. And I want to, Robbie is one of my original angels. When we raised that $47,000 from the 47th state for the Boston First Responders Fund, the largest single donor, thank you, New Mexico, Robbie was there with me every step of the way. And we've continued to do project after project after project. And no surprise, he's with me with Mask Makers 2020 New Mexico, again, standing tall. Yesterday alone, they did almost 1,000 masks. I mean, it's unbelievable what Robbie and Sonny Kirkby have done. I am so proud of their work, and I'm proud to be associated with them. And I'm just grateful to them. I'm not just proud of them, I'm grateful for them. So let me just be clear about that. I'm filled with gratitude. So there is how you sign up to submit a question to the mayor if you want to participate in the Kids Town Hall, right? Now, I've talked a lot about the Census 2020, and we want to post, yesterday I did a press release along with saying State Auditor Colon wants you to count, because I understand what that means for our state budget, but I partnered with the New Mexico Public Procurement Association in this great, Renette, thank you for reaching out and making sure that we're doing all we can to have everybody in New Mexico count. This drives funding from everything from our infrastructure to our Head Start programs, and then it also drives whether or not we have 3 congressional representatives or 2. Now, I'm convinced that no matter what, we're going to maintain those 3 congressional members. Thank you to our member from the South, the 2nd Congressional District, Xochitl Torres Small, doing a great job down there in rural New Mexico and in Doña Ana County. And Ben Ray Lujan representing the 3rd Congressional District with distinction, now running for Senate. We'll have a great new congressperson from the North, the 3rd Congressional District soon. And then, of course, we were on this week with the Honorable Deb Haaland, really a voice like we've never had in Congress. And I was so honored to have my friend Deb Haaland be with us this week. But there's a link to my press release doing that work with the Procurement Association. Here is the census.gov site for you. If you haven't done that, I promise you it won't take you more than 10 minutes. It literally took me less than 5. Now, granted, it's just Aleli, Rafael, and me, but it just doesn't get very complicated. It's really, really easy. So please make sure that you take the time to do that. And then I've promoted often, and this week on Wednesday, we got another desk concert coming up, featured and styled after the NPR desk concerts, which there was a great NPR desk concert this week. But we have a desk concert coming up on Wednesday. You'll learn more about that on Cafecito con Colon this Wednesday, as we will have Kathy McGill come on here and talk about the tiny desk concerts to promote the census in New Mexico. So she'll be with us on Wednesday, so make sure you don't miss that. But there's the link to her Facebook so you can go ahead and RSVP for that event. Now, there are some great things to watch with your children online, and I want to thank Stephanie for identifying just a couple of those great things. Good morning, Charlie Bennett. Great to see you. He is, for those of you that don't know, Charlie Bennett's a great advocate and activist. Comes to us from Kentucky. Been here a really long time. He is the first gentleman of the Treasury of Bernalillo County because he is married to the incredible and always hardworking Nancy Burse. And thank you, Charlie, for being with us this morning. Now, I don't know if you're a fan of Dolly Parton, but I kind of am. I grew up enjoying her, and she has set up the Imagination Library, and you can do Good Night with Dolly. Good Night with Dolly. And so there's a cool little link to Good Night with Dolly. And then we've got Story Time from Space. So you can watch some great videos that were recorded by astronauts. There's, I just thought I would provide these fun little links for you to check out as we move forward through this COVID-19, and we need to get a little bit more creative, huh? And then you can get your animal doses from the New Mexico Biopark Society. Another fun thing to do. I want to give a shout out to the Biopark Society and the city of Las Cruces for doing a great job of engaging Albuquerque with our zoo during this time of COVID-19's pandemic. They've got great streaming videos. They've showed us how to feed the seals. They've just done so many great creative things with that. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Robbie, for those masks. Very, very cute. Hey, Robbie, put a link up to your, let me see here, NM mask. Let me put up a quick link to, Robbie, help me out. Put up your own link to your Facebook page that you and Sunny have that is so awesome. Because I can't find it quickly here. But here's the story to KRQE. Your Merry Mask Makers, is that you? No, that's not you. That's a subgroup. But help me out. Put that up for me, buddy. But there's the Bioparks link there, and I think you'll enjoy that, especially if children. Also, we have Betty White. Betty White. Anybody like Betty White out there? Can I get some thumbs up on Betty White? She's pretty awesome. She's pretty amazing. Here is Betty White. Henry Tafoya, I've got a legend on Cafecito con Colon. Hey, stop the presses. You got to add this to the story. Henry Tafoya, New Mexico's living legend in broadcast, particularly in the area of sports. He is a living legend. My dad loved Henry Tafoya. And let me just tell you, it's an honor to have you on this morning, Henry. Thank you for your compliment. That is a high compliment coming from somebody like you who is truly a living legend. Henry, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your encouragement over the years. And thanks for being someone that my dad really enjoyed on his short 49-year journey here on Earth. You know, we lost him before he turned 50. I'm now every day, it's 481 days in office. I'm in my 50th year. Every day I have as a gift. And I know that it's one day longer than my dad had on this earth as he passed at 49. And you know, I live that life of gratitude and service. And I tell people that they say, how are you so upbeat? How are you so optimistic every day? And let me just be very clear. You know, I'm blessed with an incredible wife. We've got an amazing son who has exceeded all expectations. He's an Albuquerque High Bulldog who got a presidential scholarship to go study biomedical engineering at George Washington University. And I get to have an adopted mom like Ophelia who brings light into my life every day. So it's easy to be optimistic. But there's another side to that story. And if I haven't said it on Cafecito before, you know, I was talking about my dad, and I missed him this week. And I put up some links on my Facebook page 24 hours or 36 hours ago, and I linked up Pierro, which Pierro is an amazing singer from the 70s and 80s, and then he had a 40-year career. Henry probably knows who Pierro is. But it was my dad's favorite 8-track. I mean, we started every Saturday morning with that 8-track, and I could recite all the words in Spanish long before I understood and knew how to speak Spanish. Pierro was there for me, and I was missing my dad, and I thought of that, and I hadn't listened to those tracks in probably 30 years. But I tell you that to say this, not just that my dad loved Pierro, Freddie Fender, the Godfather of New Mexico music, Al Hurricane, Celia Cruz, Azúcar, all those songs that played in my house regularly. I was thinking about them as I was missing my dad. But let me just be clear. The reason I live every day with gratitude and in service to you, these 481 days of awesome at the Office of the State Auditor, where we fight waste, fraud, and abuse and protect New Mexico's families. When I passed out of high school, I ended up having to bury my father shortly thereafter. And I buried my dad. He was 49, and I decided that I was going to live his dream, that I would live his dream, to be the first in my family to go to college, that I'd be the first in my family to break the cycle of intergenerational poverty. And for many years, I lived that dream. And eventually, I was on the tenure track at New Mexico State University, not tenure for a professorship, but it actually, thanks to my wife, finally graduated. But it took me 10 years. So I was on that 10-year track. And I lived my father's dream because I did break that cycle of poverty. My son knows not what it's like to be on government programs. He knows not what it's like to live in Section 8 housing and on commodities. He knows not what it's like to stand in a line for lunch like Michael Padilla, Senator, and I did, where the kids were able to make fun of us and give us looks because we were in that free lunch line over there. Or have people at the grocery store stand behind my mom and giving her dirty looks because she's trying to figure out the food stamps to pay for the groceries we're getting. My son knows not what that's like. He's heard stories, but he didn't live it because I lived my father's dream of breaking the cycle of poverty. But today, as I'm before you today, after 481 days of awesome in the Office of the State Auditor, I'm living my dream of service and gratitude. And that's why I do Cafecito con Colon, because I needed extrovert therapy. I don't get to shake 100 hands a day, and I don't get to be out there in the communities of New Mexico in our 33 condados of New Mexico, the 33 counties of our beautiful land of enchantment. I don't get to be out there like I'd like. So I have to be with you every morning, and so I'm glad you joined me on Cafecito con Colon. But all that to say thank you, I guess. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for allowing me this extrovert therapy. Thank you for allowing me to live my father's dream, to break that cycle of poverty. And now each day I get out of bed living my dream, which is a dream of service and gratitude, where I try and repay the debt that I owe my community. And my son will tell you, I say it all the time, I'll never be able to repay that debt fully, but I'm going to die trying. And this is me repaying that debt to you for allowing me to live my dreams of service to New Mexico. Thank you, Orlando, for those kind comments, and thank you, Irvin, for that reflection. Let me see here. I've got some other things here for you. We're coming up on the half hour. I'm going to give you about another 5 minutes of Cafecito con Colon before I hit the road to Doña Ana County. Looking forward to driving through Socorro, where we've already served some families there in Socorro. Of course, through Valencia County, my home county, Condado de Valencia. We're all Valencianos down there. Very proud Los Lunas High School graduate, class of 88. We'll drive through Valencia County, Socorro, Sierra, and then we'll get down to Doña Ana County and serve 350 families and make a difference down there. So what else did I want to share with you this morning? I hit the census, Mayor Keller's town hall. We talked about the $550,000 in food grants going to our food pantries to serve New Mexicans. We talked about the PPP assistance. Make sure you sign up for that. Talked about Tom Hanks a little bit. Yes, darling?
Don't forget the teachers and the principals.
Yes, thank you, Aleli. Aleli's making sure that I don't forget to give a shout out of gratitude to our civil servants out there every day working hard, whether it be the folks who picked up my trash this week here on my curb, or whether it be the folks that are school wasn't canceled. School moved online, which means our educators, our educational assistants are all trying to figure this out in a very short period of time and work with parents and deliver Chromebooks and to check in with students at 8 o'clock in the morning when I hear Aleli doing her FaceTiming over there or her Zoom meetings. And educators are working harder than ever So if you've got an educational professional you know, why don't you send them a text real quick? Say thank you. Thank you for pivoting. Thank you for doing what Carlos told us to do. Remember Carlos earlier this week? What a great guy. He said, how do you spell coronavirus? How do you spell COVID-19? It's P-I-V-O-T, pivot. And that's what we're doing as we fall forward in New Mexico and really embrace this new landscape that we have in trying to deliver for our students in New Mexico. So let's see here. I think I've covered almost everything that I wanted to hit this morning. Oh, you know what I was thinking is I was thinking I wanted to learn how to play guitar someday. I've talked about it forever. But someone sent me a link to Fender, and Fender has 3 months worth of free lessons. So if you decide you want to, Aleli plays the piano beautifully. It's been nice to listen to her this week and over the last 6 weeks, hitting those beautiful keys on the keyboard and doing just such a beautiful job. And I wanted to play guitar. Raphael plays guitar beautifully. In fact, Kevin Herrig was his instructor. And also at Aquinas Newman Center, Raphael learned how to play guitar in the choir there. And it's just great. But anyway, shout out from Charlie Bennett to Aleli Colon saying thank you to one of our great educators. 20 years serving the deepest pocket of poverty in Albuquerque. She's about to get her PhD. She's almost all but dissertation. She's got a master's in math. She's got her undergraduate in civil engineering. She's nationally board certified. She's a teacher of distinction from the Golden Apple organization. She's TESOL, TOESL, MESA Teacher of the Year. She's got all these accolades. And what is she doing? She's just continuing to go into the classroom in the International District, changing students' lives every day. So I want to talk about where I get inspiration. There you have it. Hey, Neely Lang, I like your coffee cuppy. Hey, Dr. Roybal, I didn't see you this morning yet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dr. Roybal helped mentor me and work with me when I was a law student at UNM, trying to learn how to be a good student body president there. Dr. Roybal, Dr. Jennifer Gomez Chavez, Dr. Cheo Torres, all those great folks allowed me to serve. And we got healthcare for GA and TA leaders at the university. We were able to get research dollars from the legislature, which to this day, 20 years later, is still occurring in the recurring budget. We're grateful for that. Thank you to our legislative leadership that allowed that to be a possibility. Thank you, PLC, for your continued guidance and leadership as well. And thank you, Eloisa Tabet, for pouring into me when I was a child. And thank you, Rosa Isela Cervantes. Hey, Dr. Brody. Thank you, Rich, for being not just a distinguished educator and one of our chairs there at the University of New Mexico in the accountancy department. Thank you for your leadership there. So look, it is now 9:33. I better get ready to hit the road. Let me see. Did Stephanie give me? She gave me this little link here to the Visit Albuquerque recipes, which is kind of cool. People are doing online happy hours and dressing up and all that for these little virtual events. And there's some great recipes from Visit Albuquerque for you. So with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Any questions this morning? Anything? Liz Otero, I'm waiting for my care package. Dominic's mom. Hey, Liz, hit me up, 505-270-2154. Maybe you're waiting in Las Cruces. We'll be delivering 350 care packages today. But let me know if there's been a glitch there. Good morning, Juliana. We will look for it. Oh, let me before I sign off here, I got 2 more minutes till my goal of signing off at 9:35 today. Tomorrow, I was thinking about bringing on one of my Muslim brothers or sisters to talk about Ramadan. We wish the Muslim community a generous Ramadan as they started on sundown Thursday evening with their celebration, which followed Easter, which followed Passover, and so many incredible faith-based community celebrations this month, which most of us did in isolation, and we didn't congregate this year. And have a great weekend, Selena. Thank you for joining us this morning. Christina Padilla Tapia, God bless you. Thank you, Fred Silva, for those wishes. But I may bring somebody. Check me out tomorrow at 9 o'clock. If I don't identify somebody to come on for Ramadan, this is the 41st day of Cafecito con Colon. We may take a break tomorrow, depending on scheduling. But let me tell you what's happening next week. On Monday, we'll have the Rio Grande Food Project here with us. Kathy's going to join us from that. She can speak to us about food security in New Mexico and about what they're doing. They are one of the grantees from that community fund that was developed. I'll be on TJ Trout in the afternoon on Tuesday, but before I do TJ Trout in the afternoon, I'll have Cuidando los Niños. Jeffrey's going to be on with us on Tuesday morning. CLN Kids, an organization that Aleli and I have supported for a long, long time. They do incredible work in our community. That's on Tuesday with Cafecito con Colon. Then on Wednesday, I've already told you, Catherine McGill is going to be with us. Catherine McGill talking about the Census 2020. Thank you, Jose Viramontes, for leading with the iCount program, and we appreciate all your good work there. Then on Thursday, I'm going to bring in the leader of Manal School, President Lindsay Gilbert, is going to be with us on Cafecito con Colon on Thursday, talking about their international outreach. You know, Manal School has actually seen 2 pandemics. They were there operating during the flu of 1912, 1913, that pandemic, and now they have survived and thrived under COVID-19's pandemic. So we'll have President Lindsay with us, Lindsay Gilbert with us on Thursday. And then on Friday, who do we have on Friday? Friday, we're going to have, Friday is going to be a great day. Friday, we'll have Rodney with us from the United Way Central New Mexico. Love this leader. And you know what? It's pretty cool. We have so many transformational leaders who happen to be people of color and serving with distinction. You know, we had Alexandria from the Coalition of the Sexual Assault Programs of New Mexico with us yesterday. And then on next Friday, we'll have Rodney, great man of color, who's led with distinction in a very short period of time there at the United Way Central New Mexico. We'll have him on Friday. So that rounds out the week for us on Cafecito con Colon. So I'll be with you every day at 9 o'clock next week, Monday through Friday. I'm not sure whether I'll be with you tomorrow morning, but I'll be thinking of you. Maybe I'll just sign on to say good morning. But maybe we'll bring in somebody to talk to us a little bit about Ramadan and the faith of our Muslim community and what they think about during this fasting. It's a time where they embrace a value where they don't have any negative thoughts about others. They forgive others. They release that negativity. They clean out their closets, and they have this vision of heaven's gates being open and hell's gates being closed. So maybe we'll bring somebody on tomorrow, maybe somebody from the Galba family. I also, at this time, let me just say this. For those of you that are friends with Ahmad Assad, I understand he lost a dear family member this week. I texted him my condolences. But we want to be with the Assad family, incredibly important family to New Mexico. We wish them our condolences. I pray for your peace and comfort during this time of having lost that young individual in your family. But let's do that. And like the song says, hit the road, Jack. PLC is right. I got to do that. It is now 9:37. I'm going to get on the road with my incredible partner and co-chair of this incredible, impactful effort of bringing care packages to as many New Mexico families as we possibly can. Thank you, Rosella Aaron Chisholm from Chisholm Trail RV. Thanks for leading with me. We will now head down to Las Cruces to impact Doña Ana County, folks in Mesilla Park, folks in Mesilla, and in Las Cruces proper. Have a great day. Know that I love you. I love New Mexico. Let's lift up our community. Reach out to those in isolation. Tell them they're isolated, but they're not alone. They are isolated, but not alone. There are a lot of things to be thankful for. I'm thankful for each and every one of you who joined me on Cafecito con Colon. Let's make it a great day, folks. I'll see you in about 23 and a half hours tomorrow, even just for a good morning. All right. Thank you, folks. Thanks for joining us on Cafecito. Hey, should we get our bumper music going? Let's do that. Let's get some bumper music going as we end the day here on Cafecito con Colon. Gracias por venir. Tengan un buen día. Gracias a Dios por todos, por su salud, por su vida, por su gente, por su familia, por todo. Gracias. Tengan un buen día. Adiós. ¡Que viva Nuevo México! ¡Échale! Come back tomorrow. See you tomorrow. I can't miss it. I love you too much. It's my extrovert therapy. It'll be short. It'll be a shorty. Unless the Galbas come on, then we'll do a nice conversation. Thank you, New Mexico. I love you.